Sit, Firecracker. Sit. Good boy. Nice, Pumpkin. Welcome back, Mangler3M here. We're going to continue our Genshin Impact. I'll start with, I think, one of the main quests, and if we have time, we'll try the Vibro one before it expires. Sounds like we still have it running. It's right here. There we go. All right. Oh, it's Twitch trying to interfere. Okay, Twitch. It's saying close your game and reopen. There we go. Main quest saying go down here, southeast. There it is. Sending us over to Inazuma, something about meaningless writing. See if we can remember where we picked up on last time.
Let's see. Where's the person Ayaka told us about?
Why are you doing this? Why leave all of a sudden, after all these years?
Precisely. It's much too sudden. We've had no time to prepare. The children are desperate for you to take them out to play. Please, we urge you to reconsider.
That must be the guy Ayaka told us about. Let's go over and see.
You must also be here to try and convince Tejima to stay.
What happened?
Tejima has protected here 30 years ago, keeping out the treasure hoarders, fending off any monsters that draw near, resolving quarrels between the villagers. He has put an enormous amount of work into looking after this place, and we all think the world of him. But now, all of a sudden, he says he plans to leave us. So we can't help but wonder, was it something we did? We will gladly apologize if that's the case. All we want is for him to stay.
One day, I'll be as great as Ryuji.
So why the change?
If you want my opinion, something to do with the Vision Hunt decree. It's clear that Tejima had done nothing wrong, and still they confiscated his vision. After that, he became a completely different person. I can't claim to fully understand it, but I could tell that he'd lost something very important to him. He went off on a walk, alone, circled the village a few times, and then out of the blue, he announced that he was going to leave and become a wanderer. Truth be told, we aren't sure whether trying to keep him here is the right thing to do. But equally, it doesn't feel right to let him leave when he's in this state. He's a lost soul.
You must be Tejima. So what's made you want to up and leave all of a sudden?
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave, but a question of what reason I would have to stay.
Everyone depends on you.
True, but that's not why I chose to stay here. And what made me want to come here 30 years? And why have I never wanted to leave in all that time? I don't have answers to those questions, because I can't remember anymore. Ever since they took my vision away, it's like a slice of my memory is gone. In the past, I knew I wanted to stay here. But whatever resolve I had then, it's gone now. So I thought, what's to stop me from moving around instead? The emptiness inside me will be there either way.
Okay. Well, in that case, if we help you rediscover the reason you chose to stay, you won't need to leave anymore, right? But if you can't remember anything, it's not gonna be easy. Oh, maybe if you just try a little harder to remember, then it'll all come flooding back?
Oh, that reminds me. Last time I brought Tejima some fruit, I do believe I saw him writing in a diary.
I keep a diary? If you say so. I honestly can't seem to remember.
Oh, yes, you do. And what's more, I remember you saying at the time that you wanted to make a note of a few interesting things. Things which would prove very important at a later date.
Perfect!
If you don't mind, we will leave you to find the diary. We should head back to the village to inform the others of Tejima's situation.
This looks like Tejima's diary, alright. Let's see what we have here. Today, the villagers and I got together to cook dried braised salted fish. I messed up and burned mine a little, so I had to pretend that it was black snakehead instead. Today, I helped rescue a kid who had fallen in the water. After I pulled him out, he told me that his best friend Bamboo was still in the water. I searched the water the whole afternoon before finding out that Bamboo was the name of his pet crab. I went kite flying today. The string broke, so I chased after it as fast as I could. I soon realized I was never going to get it back, so I just found somewhere to sit and watch as it flew away into the distance. Seems like your average diary of daily village life. Huh? Wait, there's more! I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. The Omamori you gave me has faded a little, but it is still my most treasured possession. Now that's the kind of info we're looking for. Time to pay a visit to the shrine.
Examine marks.
So this is the Omamori Tejima wrote about. Interesting. Looking at the color and the design, Paimon would have thought it belonged to a child. But anyway, if he had this with him all the time, there's a chance some of his elemental energy remained on it. Do you think that it might come in handy?
Use elemental sight to find clues in the diary.
Tejima visit a lot? The soil looks like it's been disturbed. Maybe Tejima buried something precious here. Something that kept him in the village all these years? Must be something pretty amazing if it made him stick around for 30 years. Let's dig it up and take a look. It looks like a letter. The paper's gone yellow. Must have been written a really long time ago. Konda Village. Sounds so familiar. Where is that place again?
We become separated during war. Go wait for me in Conda Village. There will be a safe place for us there. It's here.
Huh. So the reason Tejima came here was to wait for someone. But he's been here for 30 years. Oh, guess they didn't show up in the end, huh? Well, let's go give Tejima his stuff back and take it from there.
Well, I'll be. That's certainly my handwriting. And I guess the Omamorian letter belonged to me too. But I have no memory of anything that's written in this diary. Still, it's clear that I was waiting for someone here, and that I chose to wait for 30 years. Over the years, I must have made a note of anything interesting. Anything that I could share with her when we were finally reunited. And just look at all the things that did happen over the years.
Was having these problems yesterday too. The internet has been horrible this week.
Sit. Good boys.
One day, I'll be as great as Ryu.
Working a second ago. Not really. Pretending to.
Well, I'll be. That's certainly my handwriting. And I guess the Omamorian letter belonged to me too. But I have no memory of anything that's written in this diary. Still, it's clear that I was waiting for someone here, and that I chose to wait for 30 years. Over the years, I must have made a note of anything interesting. Anything that I could share with her when we were finally reunited. And just look at all the things that did happen over the years. The time has flown by so quickly. 30 years feels like the blink of an eye. How could I have forgotten something so important to me? Love, regret, everything I felt for her, it's all disappeared.
Does that make you feel sad?
No, not especially. After all, I've forgotten who she was. Her face, her voice, the things we experienced together. I barely recall any of it. It's as if she'd never been in my life to begin with. As if all these years have been nothing but a hazy dream.
So do you still plan on leaving?
I think maybe not. If this is something I waited most of my life for, I suppose I should carry on waiting. Although, what if she were to turn up eventually, only to find I didn't remember so much as her name? Wouldn't that be upsetting for her? When I think about it like that, I do feel a slight tinge of sadness in my heart. How curious. Why am I thinking like this when I don't even remember who she is? It's just like that feeling of emptiness, the feeling that something is missing. Thank you both for helping me reconnect with my reason for staying here. I shall remain here and keep waiting for her.
Tejima seems to be dealing okay, but still, it makes Paimon really sad.
Losing a reason to feel sad is maybe the saddest thing of all.
It's just like Ayaka and Tomo were saying. If you lose your vision, you lose all your hopes and dreams too. That certainly explains the state Tejima was in earlier. At least we were able to help him, weren't we? Well, let's go find the next person. According to Miss Kamisato, the second one who lost their vision is a samurai from the Tenryou Commission. They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining law and order in Inazuma, the ones actually enforcing the Vision Hunt Decree. But why would they take action against one of their own? Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an explanation. How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything about emergency provisions.
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential. Do you understand? Not some goods to be pocketed by greedy samurai.
You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this.
Emergency provisions like emergency food?
Oh, huh? And who are you? One of Kurosawa's gang, no doubt.
What? We just happened to be passing by. We heard the commotion and came to see what the matter was.
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. Perhaps you can help us settle this matter. This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area, and he's the one responsible for distribution. In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. Now, he suddenly refuses to give us anything. He's keeping the provisions for himself, I just know it. We'll starve without them.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man, but he's shown his true colors. He's the same as all the other samurai. It's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need people like him helping her rule the nation.
This must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help. But why would she ever want us to help someone like him? Maybe we should talk to Kurosawa and see what he has to say.
I've never even heard of these emergency provisions.
I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, it's ridiculous. If I was hoarding supplies, would I still be the poor man I am today? My own family can barely get by as it is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got other matters to attend to.
We heard that you lost your memory and your vision recently.
And that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision. And they said I was slacking off in my work. Apparently, I'd even disappointed the Raiden Shogun. And that's why they confiscated my vision.
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the Vision Hunt decree. Why would you be unworthy of your vision?
To be perfectly honest, I don't seem to remember the details. All I know is that I would perform certain things every month. But I don't recall what they were. And it's not just that. I have this unsettling feeling, like someone owes me something.
Does it have to do with the missing emergency provisions?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them for myself, I wouldn't be going through such hard times right now. To top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders, which is why I came here in the first place. I was chasing after them when I got held up by these two. If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself. If there were any emergency provisions to be had, they would have found them.
Huh. He seems to be telling the truth. But we better confirm. Let's go round up those treasure hoarders and see what they have to say. We should be able to follow their tracks. They couldn't have gone too far.
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods. We really hit the jackpot. I mean, besides that one house.
You haven't seen anything yet. There'll be a lot more where this came from. Today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an epic journey of pillage and plunder that will go down in hoarder history. You demand, boss!
These seem like the treasure hoarders we're after. Let's teach them a lesson!
Take this! Following thunder!
As a dutiful maid would.
Cool it!
Fry!
Do we get frostbite? Freeze!
I got careless.
Really packs a punch.
As you wish, mein Fräulein.
Dodge this! Aw, there goes all the aura. We worked hard to steal that, you know? Come on, boss. Think of something.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? We could use someone like you.
Forget it. Tell us what you know about Kurosawa.
Kurosawa? Oh, I remember. So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck. I knew he shouldn't have hit that place.
So what did you see inside? Was it stuffed with food supplies?
Food supplies? You kidding? That place was a complete mess. All we found was a strange-looking box, hopefully with valuables inside. I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening it myself once we got back. But now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal? That little box for our freedom. What do you say?
You've got a deal! Now show us what's in the box!
Huh?
What the? There's nothing in here but IOUs!
Yeah, a lot of them too! And they all seem to be made out to the owner of a general goods store, a Miss Aoi. We're talking stocking tons of Mora here. We better talk to this Miss Aoi and get to the bottom of this. As for you guys, you're free to go. Just pray that our paths don't cross again.
Yes, of course.
So, we redeemed ourselves for some IOUs. Does that mean we broke even?
Shut it. Let's just get out of here.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. We've got everything you need. Can I help you find something? Or perhaps there's something you want to inquire about?
About these IOUs.
Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it? Perhaps you're here to pay off his debts.
Whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're just here to learn where they all came from. How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money? Did he buy anything super expensive here?
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. He'd always put the payment on his own account. However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost. So, he started writing out IOUs to cover whatever he couldn't afford of the usual amount.
So that's how he was getting those emergency provisions. But why did he have to purchase a usual amount? If the prices increased, couldn't he just buy less?
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating how much they needed to sustain them each time. Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't have enough, especially after such long and careful planning. So he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather than let the people down.
Wow. Kurosawa was purchasing all the emergency provisions at his own expense. And no one ever appreciated what he did. They just complained and held him accountable.
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances. In the face of hardship, nobody cares to think twice. If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about the supplies from the start, then there wouldn't be such a severe backlash now. Of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. What he was doing was truly a thankless deed. As for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provisions and never tell anyone, I'm still not too clear myself. If you're still curious, why don't you go ask him yourself?
Fortunately, he doesn't remember.
I see. That reminds me, it seems that his vision was recently confiscated. Most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice but to sell that sword that is so dear to him.
Sword? What sword?
Oh, didn't he tell you? He possesses a very valuable blade. He's carried it for years now. I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift from his father, that it was too precious to sell. In hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on it. Everything has its price, at least that's what I think. Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Perhaps it'll even provide you with the answers you're looking for. Oh, but before you go, if you would kindly settle today's bill.
But we didn't buy anything!
Information is also a kind of commodity, wouldn't you agree? Don't worry, I won't charge much for information about Kurosawa. Nothing we ever discussed was explicitly confidential anyway. Oh, let me think. 2,000 Mora should be a fair price.
Fair enough.
At least we now know where the emergency provisions were coming from. Plus, we found out that Kurosawa has a priceless sword in his possession. Let's go talk to Kurosawa
presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. They left. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Perhaps I should start using it more often. Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders? Everything I said was true, right?
Actually, you recount your encounter with the treasure hoarders in conversation with Aoi.
It turns out that you really were distributing emergency provisions, but they were all purchased at your own expense.
Strange. Is that really the kind of person I was? I don't really have any such recollection. Even after all you've told me, I still don't remember anything. Why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why would I put myself in such a difficult situation? I really don't understand. But I cannot deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, I could sense that my body was somehow reluctant to do so.
Mind if we have a look?
This sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade and show it off to the kids next door. My father ended up catching me in the act and scolded me severely. What did he say? I can't seem to remember that either. It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. So many memories gone. Forever. No matter how hard I try to remember, all I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed. Before he passed away, he placed the sword in my hands and said to me, "With this sword, you should."
Hey, if you look carefully, there seems to be some words engraved on the hilt. Can you recognize the words?
Words are virtue and justice.
Virtue and justice? Somehow those two words seem to explain everything now. Taking on seemingly endless deaths to make others happy. I guess that must have been my greatest ambition after all. But what use of virtue and justice? I purchased the provisions for those in need. And look how things ended up. The Tenryo Commission seized my vision. And the very people I was so desperately trying to help refused to understand me. And the irony of all of it is, I somehow still felt sorry when threatening them with my blade. I'm incapable of being a good person, yet I'm equally unable to be bad. I don't know what to do with myself.
Yet another troubled soul. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. The Yashiro Commission would surely help cover his expenses. In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword.
Losing a vision is no trifling matter.
Yeah, seems like losing all ambition is a terrible experience. Fortunately for us, you don't have a vision. Let's go find the next poor soul.
Walking distance. So many troubled souls. So little time. I'm finding them faster than Ursula.
The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master around these parts. Hyman heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui art. Sounds pretty impressive. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around. Let's go talk to them.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all off in the end, didn't he?
Maybe, but I'm still worried about him. Things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him. This time, though...
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll be right as rain in no time.
Hey there! Did something happen?
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Get out of here immediately! Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong. We just came here to...
Came here to become disciples.
Disciples?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Make-Yo Shisui art. It's the whole reason we came all this way, to seek him out and ask him to train us. But then we got here and overheard you talking about how he got possessed or something?
From the way you're dressed, it doesn't look like you're from around here. Please, accept my apologies. We've had so many people trying to cause us trouble recently that we're on high alert. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not able to take on any new disciples for the time being.
I'm not going back until I call him my sensei.
I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? My fellow disciple Nanako and I will explain Sensei's situation to you in a little more detail. Then you can decide whether to stay or to leave. Sensei's name is Domon, a name I'm sure you've already heard. Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many other prominent sword masters, never losing a single fight. He once said that his goal was to become the best sword master in the world. And so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. His fervor truly inspired us, and we trained hard, determined to keep up with him. But then...
Not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He hasn't been the same since. He says the strangest things over and over, and he refuses to let us train. Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's being possessed by an evil spirit. So, we've asked the Shrine Maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine to perform an exorcism. But if I'm honest, I still have my doubts over whether he'll completely recover.
The Grand Narukami Shrine? What's that?
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. The head shrine maiden is reputed to have very close ties with the almighty Shogun herself. Not that we'd have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. But even one of the ordinary shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine would have clear power and authority to perform an exorcism. So don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be just fine. The exorcism will take place this evening. You're both more than welcome to come and watch if you're interested.
So, losing your vision can cause possession? Guess we should come back this evening and see for ourselves.
Shh. So you decided to come. It's a good thing you didn't arrive any earlier. You would have had to witness Sensei one of his fits of madness. Just now, when Nanako was attending to him, she heard him whispering a few names to himself. When she asked him who the people were, he suddenly looked panic-stricken and pushed her away. It looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looking frantically around him with bloodshot eyes. All the while he kept calling those names. Some of them we knew, others we didn't recognize. But they all seemed to be the names of sword masters he had defeated in the past. One of them was Anzai. He used to be a fellow disciple of Sensei's. His senior, in fact. But Sensei defeated him in a duel many years ago, and he has been a wanderer ever since. Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. Thankfully, the Shrine Maidens managed to subdue him, so the exorcism can finally continue. The ritual has now begun. All we can do is patiently await the result. Here's hoping Sensei will be back to his normal self very soon. Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water. If he wakes up, he is sure to be thirsty.
Oh,
What's that sneaking around? Uh-oh. Could they be here to mess up the exorcism? We won't let them get away with it. Come on, let's go after them. Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up? Is this definitely the right place? Let's look a little further up.
Radiant Spin Crystal 49? What?
Suspicious person sighted! That's gotta be him!
How did you catch up with me so quickly? Are you sure you're Domon's disciples? You move even quicker than he does. Unless... I guess it's been a few years. Maybe his skills have improved again.
Excuse me? We're the ones asking the questions here. First off, who are you? And what are you doing sneaking around these parts? You seem like bad news, mister.
Bad news? I'll have you know I trained side by side with Domon back in the day, long before you ever showed up. I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you must know, I am Domon's senior.
Ooh, we just heard about you. He beat you. And you ran away.
Wait, that means you must be...
A vagabond.
Anzai? Yes, that's me.
Why did you run?
Because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him ever again. When we were young, we trained under the same swordmaster, studying Make-Yoshi Sui art together. I had begun training 5 years before him, and everyone looked up to me as a steady and dependable older disciple. Practitioners of Make-Yoshi Sui art seek to achieve stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. So the majority of disciples are indifferent to rank and reward. I was no exception, but Domon was different. The first thing he did when he joined was go straight to our sensei and ask him, with a beaming smile on his face, how to become the best in the world. Sensei scolded him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such vain ends. Sensei said that coveting the title of the best swordmaster, barely days into his training, showed that he had a fickle mind, and that this would impede him from ever mastering the blade. I thought so too at the time, but Domon began making swift progress in his training, and even started catching up with me. Only then did I realize that it was Domon who had long since freed his mind from all agitation. He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world. He sought nothing less than perfection in the art of the sword, and nothing could deter him from this goal, no matter what stood in his way.
Sure sounds like he meant business. So how come you don't want to ever see him again?
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would succeed our sensei as the master of Make-Yoshi Sui art. Of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest. Everyone had high expectations from me. Domon's arrival changed everything. When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my pride and my status too. I fled the dojo that day and never looked back. Later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then, and unfortunately that match used up every last ounce of energy in his body. After that I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down though, I still respected his mastery of the blade, and his commitment to the art of the sword. So, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction was to dismiss them as false. How could he, of all people, have lost his mind? His mind was the sharpest of them all. He had practiced Make-Yoshi Sui art to perfection. I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. Then, to my complete astonishment,
I heard him call my name. I thought mine was a name he had long since forgotten. So you see, I came here not to cause him any harm. I just wanted to see for myself. Okay, you've heard my story. You should get back now. The exorcism is probably finishing.
Seems like we got it wrong this time. He wasn't here to mess up the exorcism at all. Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him back with us. Let's go see how the exorcism's coming along.
You're saying he isn't possessed? Does that mean that he's just lost his mind? But how is that possible? No, I refuse to believe it. Something's clearly wrong.
Nanako, please. Try not to get agitated.
I am sorry. With what powers I have, I can find no sign of any malignant spirit having possessed Omon. But spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, many of which I cannot claim to have witnessed myself. Thus, I dare not rule out possession with complete certainty. And all is certainly not lost, for I received word not long ago that Lady Yai has taken an interest in your sensei's case.
Lady Yai? Is that the same Lady Yai that I think you mean?
The head shrine maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine? That's wonderful news! Then Sensei will be sure to recover.
Correct. Lady Yai is most knowledgeable indeed, and has abundant experience in the exorcism of evil spirits and aversion of great calamities. I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit has possessed your sensei, but Lady Yai can give a conclusive verdict.
Excuse me, Miss Inagi, but I must ask, should we prepare a greeting gift for Lady Yai?
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival at the Grand Narukami Shrine. Lady Yai does not like to be kept waiting. I must leave now, but we will meet soon at the shrine. I wish Domon a full and speedy recovery.
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself would have taken notice of our sensei's case?
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to deserve Lady Yai's attention?
No! That's not what I meant at all! You misunderstand me! I just mean this is Lady Yai, the head shrine maiden. She has direct and close contact with the almighty Shogun herself. Anyway, you should join us too, tomorrow.
From scratch, PumpkinFirecracker.
Given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei, we, the disciples of Meikyo Shisui Art, will do our best to help you.
Sure! After all, everyone seems pretty excited about Lady Yai. We're curious to meet her too. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find out a thing or two about the Raiden children from her.
Let's do that one, the Vibro one, before it expires. We'll still head to that one soon, but this one's only here for 4 more days. I want to visit it real quick. He did say she wants me to hurry, so let's see how much time we have. I've been waiting for you, traveler. Recently, the Adventures Guild has received a rather important commission. Judging from my experience, you are the best person for the job. Important commission, you say? Ah, come on, don't worry, Catherine. You're used to it already. You wouldn't have troubled us if the rewards weren't worth it either, right? Yeah, that is true. I expected the two of you as straightforward as ever. Well, I think I will get straight to the point. Gives commission out is Patrice, researcher from Fontaine, hopes to get a few assistants to help conduct his studies. He's presently inspecting the outskirts of the chasm. Although we were not given a great amount of detail concerning the nature of his research, I believe that you are quite used to such commissions. That's true. Well, let's do it like we always do. First up, to the chasm. I think I unlocked all this stuff, huh? That venturing thing just saved us a lot of time. Alright, I'm going to unlock this one, then I'll go after the other. Ten crates for meat. 10 crates of vegetables. Various amounts of firewood and camping equipment to be given to the Millith outpost. 3 crates of various ores to be sent to the Huishin Hall warehouse in exchange for spare parts for tools in various amounts. Alright, sorry for making you wait. What do you need? Ah, it's you. Hey, since when were we all that familiar with you? I mean, you were the heroes who saved Leeway. Your deeds are remembered by us all. Since you're here at the chasm, you must be here on some important business, in which case, I'm sure you must have a permit from Lady Kiching, right? We don't. Really? I mean, not to trouble you, since you must be very familiar with Lady Yingguang. A permit from her might hold still more weight. Could I see it, please? We don't have that either. Oh well, the Lord Tianshu is reclusive yet approachable, and also has great vision and good people at heart. Surely he was the one that gave you permission to enter the chasm. Then, maybe. In that case, would you mind letting me see your papers? Huh, guess you don't have that either. Well, Ms. Ganyu works at Eugene Terrace, supporting the Kiching directly. Sure, her opinion would be in lockstep with theirs. You at least have her permission, don't you? Actually, you know what? We could have just asked Ganyu to sign off on this. I can go look for her right now. So you've come at a bad time. This is really not the season to be visiting the chasm. Ministry of Civil Affairs is still working on eliminating a great safety hazard within. So this is still very much a danger zone. But you have been if you've been commissioned by some merchant to faster, then I suggest you read the report I submitted to Shanglu all carefully. What's the person talking about exactly? Could you tell us more about the chasm? Right, so about the chasm, if you don't intend to leave just yet, you're free to explore the area a bit, but please keep your actions within the remit of Leeway's law and statutes. I should mention, though, that there is a place that I highly recommend you avoid. For example, the Great Mine in the center of the chasm has had a 7-star error ray cast over it, by which I mean exactly what I say. It's a seal placed over the area by the Kiching. Well, that's quite the clear explanation. As for the weak, I mean, the focal point of the array, it leads to the bedrock keys surrounding the area. It lies in the bedrock keys surrounding the area. These were placed by the Kiching themselves, connected in series. They affix the energy flowing through the array. The area around the bedrock keys have seen an abnormal amount of geo-elemental coalesces. It's almost as if the thing beneath yearns to finally emerge. Never mind me, I was just talking to myself. So yes, that's how things are. Please do not, and I repeat, do not go near the 7-star array, and don't even think about going down there to explore. The bedrock keys are definitely not losing structural integrity, and the surrounding areas are most certainly not plagued by any strange geo-elemental converges. So please don't you think of doing anything at all. But, I know what you're going to ask. There are most certainly no precious treasures down there, nor are there any prehistoric fossils to be had, and banish any thoughts you have about giant ancient ruins. Yes, please do not bear any fruitless expectations toward this place. The way you're saying all this is super suspicious. Not even mushrooms will go down there. Nor are there wish-granting stones, and there are definitely no sailors who grow strong just by eating mushrooms. Again, do not get your hopes up. Yeah, sure. There's no need to be so fierce. Anything else I should look out for? Got it then. Come on, Pylon. Let's go. Yep, let's go. Wait, I haven't finished. I suggest you go speak to Ji Cheong first. He is an adventurer hired by the Ministry and miner here. He knows the chasm's geography like the back of her hand. Also, let me write you a certification real quick. When she sees it, she'll know that you're trustworthy. That said, I must warn you that Ki Chong is definitely not the sort of person who has trouble standing still. He definitely has no thoughts of undoing the array having a look underground. There's no way that she would ever put a team of idle adventurers together to brazenly enter hazardous areas. As such, you can forget about asking her to help you enter the chasm's mines. Yeah, I got it. As long as you understand, we're good. In which case, I won't take up any more of your time. Okay. Alright, whoops, I was doing the wrong one. Okay, so that's that one, but I was actually trying to do the other one. This one. Let's do that one first. We can always come back and finish that one. I just wanted to start it so it would be easier to get to and find later. Long walk. Or glide. Crystals! No, I'm not stopping. He's scratching. He's scratching. Oh, I have to fight somebody first.
As a good night shield, steady as stone.
Got him? Got him. Alright, Patrice, what's up? We can't have any more delays. We need to move into the verification stage as soon as possible. Worst comes to worst, I'll do it myself. Research halted temporarily due to accidental injury. I think that'll buy me some time. As long as I don't lose my life, I'd call it a better trade than having to go to court back home. What's he talking to himself about? Let's go say hi, Mango Fam. Hello, are you Patrice? Ah, where'd you two come from? How do you know my name? Wait, you aren't plain clothes, Molith, are you? Are you here to kick me out? I've already shown you my field inspection permit. I swear to you, do not enter any restricted areas. If you don't believe me, go ask that black-haired, fierce-looking lady. Paimon doesn't know who you're talking about, but you can relax. We're professional, friendly adventurers. We requested your permission from the guild, and we're here to help. Oh, so you're here to do the reinforcements. Wonderful, wonderful. Now that you're here, we finally have a chance. I was going to die here at this rate. Wow, your research sounds more like torture. No, research itself is sacred, the highest calling. The thing in my way is what one might call additional factors. Additional factors like what? Well, like how I will kick the bucket should this research fail. Sounds like a defeatist talk. You're pretty fun alone, I'll give you that. If only I were joking. Independent researchers must apply for funding to conduct their studies, but using them means that you'll be assuming the social responsibility that comes with their use. To spend large sums and not produce any results, therefore, makes you no different from a criminal deserving of judgment. If I return empty-handed, I will almost certainly face at least a few dozen charges, including but not limited to wasting public funds and misappropriating academic resources. Such crimes will surely land me the harshest punishments. Never mind the bankruptcy or the sullying of my name. If I am indeed judged, I might really die. That sounds like way too extreme. So, is that why you put up so much Mora for assistance to help you? Fontaine sounds like a scary place. Nay, my homeland is innocent. It is those additional factors that are to blame. Alright, calm down. We get that your situation is serious, then research concerns the future, and even your life, right? Just leave it to us. We'll help you get out of it. As things stand, I suppose I have no other choice. What do you need us to do exactly? Yeah, let's get down to it. My research topic is called vibro-crystal harmonics. Simply put, it's a process stimulating the elemental energy within gems and crystals and using this elemental power as a source of energy. That sounds super convenient. My mind can totally see it being used to make practical and awesome machines. But what do these gems have to do with this vibey-rady thing you're talking about again? I suppose those gems are the vibro crystals. Precisely. Not long ago, when someone tried activating gems, they discovered that a certain wondrous resonance could occur between special types of gems. These gems were thus named vibro crystals. When the transmitter crystal half of the vibro crystal set has been stimulated in a certain way, it will release a certain energy that will trigger a resonance with the receiver crystal half. These two energies of vibro crystals will stack and multiply one another many times over. I've called this resonance type harmonics. As the moment, I have reached a critical stage in my work, which is verifying my hypothesis on these harmonics. I've got it. My mind guesses that you'll need us to help prove your theory by using the power of the vibro crystals to defeat monsters and prove that the harmonics association occurs. Exactly. Why, you're both quite bright, aren't you? I've chosen a suitable area that a great many steals in it, mounted with vibro crystal sets. Tell me once when you're ready. I will tell you precisely what needs to be tested. Just follow my instructions as you engage the battle. You should be fine. Huh. This really does seem like what we do all the time. Paimon almost feels kind of bored. Well, I'm interested. You've beaten more super strong opponents than you can count on both hands. So, of course, this sort of commission should be easy peasy. Very impressive. Liyue truly is an excellent place, filled with high quality ore and highly reliable adventurers. I suppose coming all this way to save material cost was the right decision after all. I was originally more worried about having to run over budget, but I think I shall now retain 20% of my funds even after paying the commission to you. Once this is done, I shall use the remaining amount to hire a news writer to publish my results. Always good to get the word out there, after all. You can see it now. Behold, Patrice's true tale of the vibro crystals. What? Seriously? That doesn't sound like a title of an academic essay at all. But titles must have be strange and bizarre to attract the attention, the eye of the public, and bring in investment. When that happens, we can even discuss bonuses. Bonuses? I was not sure what you mean. Well, if the vibro crystal harmonics effect is used to create commercial products, I shall receive a share of the profit in royalties, and of course some of the shares shall go to you. That said, this is contingent upon the research progress. Oh, so that's how it goes, huh? Alrighty, Paimon's excited now. It's fine, you can use whatever title you want. Paimon. Whatever, Mangler 3M. Let's get this done. And get it done quick. After that, we can discuss the bonuses thing with Mr. Patrice. During the vibro crystal research event, you must split your characters into two parties for the challenge. Before the start combat, you may equip each party with a Vibro Crystal Harmonic Schema. Combine the crystals and transmitter and receiver crystals to obtain different combat buffs. Each transmitter crystal can only project its radiation on one receiver crystal, but each receiver crystal can receive transmissions from 2 transmitters. Using different transmitter crystals to trigger receivers will increase their effects. Check the Vibro Crystal Harmonics description to see the extent to which these buffs may extend. As the challenge progresses, simply triggering the harmonic response between the transmitter and receiver crystals will accrue harmonic points. When these points can reach a certain amount, the harmonic strength will increase, granting characters combat buffs. All party members' critical damage will be increased. However, if you do not trigger a harmonic response within a certain time period, the strength to be gained will fade. During this challenge, you must defeat opponents that constantly emerge to obtain points within an allotted time. Of these opponents, Nemesis will provide more points. Once the challenge ends, you will gain different insignias based on the number of points you get. Okay,
Leave it to me.
so
All of it. Whatever it
good
is.
news is
What
I haven't figured out.
is it?
Bad news is
Didn't quite catch your
I don't know if I have
guess.
time. I don't want to risk it. So I'm gonna actually put a cut in the video. We have learned that we've progressed. We saw a couple people going crazy. We learned about this Vibro event. I'm gonna try this off stream. We only have 4 days left. I don't think I'm gonna be able to show it on stream, but it's just fighting. Nothing too exciting. They're probably gonna go buffs and fighting and gaining points and stuff. Nothing too eye-opening, and definitely not a story. So nothing more to stream. Thanks a lot for joining us today. We will catch you guys next time. Possibly Civilization tomorrow if I'm lucky. I think we're going to be able to squeeze that in. Been a while. So have a good one.